What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with VISIONEYEVIEWTV Shorts Live. And in advance, I'd like to thank you guys for being here, whether it be for a few seconds, a few minutes, or the entirety of tonight's show. I really, really do appreciate it in advance. As I always tell everyone close to me, I'm someone who understands that everybody has things to do. They have families to tend to. They have, work to tend to. Everybody has their own little world to tend to. And I always try to do my best to be considerate and understanding of that. So it does mean a lot to me when someone does take from the time to spend time here on the channel. Whenever I do like streams or, chill streams or whatever the case may be. Although in advance, I like to say that tonight's stream is a little bit of a mixed bag. Like, sure, I am going to bring up a lot of articles that I came across today and discuss them on live, while at the same time doing a quick assessment of each one of them for about like 5 minutes or less. But there's also other important topics which I really hope everyone shares forward with your friends, family members, neighbors, all that good stuff. And already right off the bat, we have one of the more loyal and OG supporters, from the channel, Constantine. Well, if I would have known you're going to be here, which shame on me, I should have been optimistic that you were going to be here. I would have had the regular show clip already up and ready to go, but alas, that wasn't the case. So I do apologize. I didn't have that set up for you already, but I appreciate you being here, my guy. I really do mean that. Thank you in advance. All right, but that being said, let's get right into it without wasting too much time, because even when it's live, I do try my best to deliver these news articles in about 5 minutes or less. So let's see if I can make that happen or not. All right, so this news article is by communitynewspapergroup.com, and the headlines read, Kanye West slammed for wearing black KKK-style hood, sick and disgusting. This is somewhat like fresh off the press, either a few minutes ago or about an hour ago. I'm pretty sure it happened way before that, but as far as this article is concerned, this is somewhat fresh. So it says here, Kanye West is being slammed as sick for wearing a black version of a KKK-style hood. The controversy mired rapper, 46 years old, who has been ditched from his money-spinning brand deals over his anti-Semitic outburst, wore the shock outfit to his Vultures album listening party on Monday. 11/12/23. Interesting choice of dates, but okay. Dad of 4, Kanye initially showed up to the do dubbed the Vultures rave with a garment covering his face, but later changed into the dark pointy black hood as the title track for the album played. In the song, Kanye addresses allegations of his past anti-Semitic behavior, rapping, "How I'm anti-Semitic," along with a stream of abuse. His critics have since flooded social media to branch him sick and disgusting, with others saying he is an anti-Semite. Others dismiss the theory Kanye West satirizing white supremacy with his outfit. More critics slated the face Kanye's daughter, North, 10 years old, who he had with his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, was at the event and at one point joined him on stage. His and Kim's daughter, Chicago, 5, and son, Saint, 8, were also in attendance and were spotted in the crowd with the rapper's new wife, Bianca Censori. It appears Kanye and Kim's youngest child, 4-year-old son, Psalm, did not attend the party. In Kanye's 2013 music video for the song Black Skinhead, he featured a cast wearing black hoods. The album party was also attended by stars including Ty Dolla $ign, Playboi Carti, Offset, Lil Durk, Chris Brown, and Kodak Black. Kanye had partnerships including one with Adidas, Axed, last year. He suffered a furious backlash after he wrote on Twitter, now known as X, he was quote-unquote going DEFCON 3 on the J word, people. Kanye added, "You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. which is true. We'll get into that into a second. On Instagram, Kanye, he posted a screenshot of a conversation with Sean Diddy Combs, where he wrote, "I'm going to use you as an example to show the Jewish, the J word people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me," quote unquote. Kanye also caused a storm by including t-shirts with the slogan "White Lives Matter" and a Yeezy fashion show in Paris. All right, so why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up for a few reasons that we're going to get right into in a second. Likewise, brother. Likewise, man. Likewise. And you say, Constantine says, "I saw a headline today that he likes skinhead music. Didn't read it though." And I mean, that would have been interesting. Had you have like read it, it would have been nice to get some insight on that and to see how true or how it was like maybe it was like jokingly or whatever. Either way, it would have been interesting. And of course, we have the beautiful, the lovely, amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, fantastical, phenomenal, marvelous, lovely, beautiful Emily Rose in the house. So huge round of applause for her. Sean Diddley Combs, yeah. But yeah, so some of the reasons I brought this up is real quick. You know, I know there's a mixed bag of emotions with Kanye, especially over the lapse of these past 2 years. But I was always extremely careful with his whole journey, right? Because it was a journey. When he had his like quote unquote conversion, right, to Christianity. And of course, from there up until now, how we've seen like the roller coaster ride that he has taken us on, right? From like the questioning of how genuine his conversion to Christianity was. I won't even say Christianity. I'll say conversion to Christ, because that's what it was supposed to be, right? And I've always been part of the mindset that he was, and this is still my belief. And while at the same time I do believe there was some genuine moments in his journey, right, of him like converting to Christ and all that. For the most part, I always stated that I was careful and I was like studying him, and I was like just kind of like, I guess, observing and allowing time to tell like how genuine his journey was. But at the same time, I always said I feel like he's like controlled opposition, right? And what better way to have someone as influential and as outspoken as him, whether it be in the music industry or in the entertainment industry, or like in the rap hip hop culture, right? Kind of like have that seeming transition, right, from like this to like now all being all in on Christ, supposedly. But like I said, these past 2 years, we've seen this weird, just kind of like ever since he had disappeared for like a few weeks or months, and then came back suddenly, like going out with like the model that he's still going out with, and doing a bunch of like crazy stuff that don't make any sense and don't it's not a good look for anyone who says that they're of the faith or a Christian or following Christ. It's not a good look. So it kind of like makes it into just like a joke, like his conversion and lack of testimony since he disappeared and came back up until now has been a joke. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. When I say the enemy, I mean the devil. He wants to take like moments like that, is like you kind of like hope for these moments to be true, and then you follow it and you allow time to tell, and then stuff like this happens, and it's like, oh man, he's like making the faith look bad, he's making Christianity look bad, he's making Christianity look like a joke, etc., etc., etc. And it keeps getting worse and worse if you really like look at it. Like, yeah, yeah, for real. And that goes for the both of them. Like we don't even, and here's the thing, man. Like I know there's gonna be people like in the live chat or the comment sections afterwards that's gonna poke fun at this, because I even poke fun at it, but we don't even know, realistically talking here, if we have the same Kanye back, that that one, the same one who like went, like, not missing, but who disappeared. You know what I'm saying? We can't be 100% sure that this is him still. We don't know if this is like some type of like clone. And I hate bringing it up. I really do hate bringing it up, because I know it makes me sound like a crazy person. I get it. I understand how it comes off as. But the reality is, man, like, physical changes have been spotted since he came back. His behavior has been out of whack, completely unaligned with what he was doing before he disappeared. And just a lot of questionable actions and behavior, and just weird. Just a lot of weird stuff since he came back. And we just can't be 100% certain. So that being said, I'm not keeping like an extra close eye on him like that, because I don't really care like that. But every time I do come across some news article, it just continues to confirm like my suspicion. Is like, yo, definitely smells like controlled opposition. The way he's behaving, the way he's talking, the way he's acting, and all that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So something else relating to him, we're gonna share this real quick. Uh, this is by JTA.org. I was about to say GTA, like Grand Theft Auto, which, by the way, the GTA like chapter like 6 or whatever uh, promo came out, and I still have yet to see it. It's weird. I'm usually on top of that kind of thing, even though I don't have a PlayStation, but I always look forward to the GTA games, and I still have not seen a commercial or the trailer that came out without it. It was like a leaked trailer or whatever. I still haven't seen it. But anyways, JTA.org. And the headlines read: Kanye West's album with anti-Semitic lyric and long list of famous collaborators on track to debut Friday. All right. All right. This just came out fresh earlier. Look at that. That don't even look. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. All right. It says here. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right one. Okay, I am. Is looking dope. Yeah, right. I haven't seen it yet though, so you could spoil it for me if you want, or I can try to take a look at it before the show ends tonight. But it's just I'm usually on top of that, so I'm kind of mad at myself. But anyways, it says at the end of 2022, Kanye West, the billionaire rapper who now goes by Ye, seemed to be persona non grata in the entertainment industry after months of anti-Semitic rants on social media and in unhinged interviews. He was dropped from a lucrative business partnership with Adidas and booted from his longtime record label. But on Sunday, he hosted a swanky album release party as part of the prestigious Art Basel, or Basel, however you pronounce it. I think it's Basel, but whatever. Art fair in Miami. Oh, look at that. Here in Florida, and I missed it. I could have been there, and I missed it. In advance of the record's upcoming debut this Friday, the album, titled Vultures, was written in partnership with longtime collaborator Ty Dolla $ign, and its track listing features a who's who of respected rap industry names, from artists such as Lil Baby and Nicki Minaj to producers like Timbaland, who has worked with the likes of Beyonce and Justin Timberlake. On the album's eponymous lead single, released last month, West raps, how I'm anti-Semitic. I just effed a Jew, B. I just effed a Scooters, B. Referencing Jewish music mogul Scooter Braun. And this is what I mean. Like, no self-proclaimed Christian person would ever in their entire lifetime, like, allow themselves to speak this way in a song. Something that he knows is going to be public. You would never cuss. You would never, like, do something like this. So I can safely say, if he's not controlled opposition, he's definitely not one of us, for sure. And even if you were to argue, well, God still has a lot of work to do in him, and God's still molding him, that could possibly be true. But even if that were the case, like, if he had the right people around him, which I really truly believe he's lacked that mostly, having the right people around him, they wouldn't have allowed him to do this. So it's really not looking good for him. But anyways, it says at a quote unquote at a time of rising anti-Semitism worldwide, it's disgusting to see Kanye once again use his platform to spew Jew hatred. The Anti-Defamation League responded. Even though the single did not make any Billboard music charts, West's album seems headed for a large audience on most major streaming platforms, despite having spent months in the spotlight over anti-Semitic comments. In October 2022, he threatened to go DEFCON 3 on J-word people, a phrase that was widely interpreted to connote violence. He tweeted images of swastikas, picked fights with J-word figures, and praised Hitler in a sprawling interview with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. He bragged that he could say anti-Semitic stuff while maintaining business ties with Adidas, and several reports came out about his longtime fascination with the N-word, Nazism, not the other N-word. West, also a clothing designer in recent years, had made headlines for his fashion choice at Sunday's event, a black pointed hood that resembled part of the KKK uniform. He previously used the black hood imagery in the music video for his 2013 song Black Skinhead. Art Basel did not respond to a request for comment on the event by press time. Last week, a group of artists began bringing large reproductions of milk cartons with the names of Israeli hostages not to sight across Miami, including the Art Basel locations. Others who feature on the Vultures album, according to the track listing leaked online, include, of course, Bad Bunny, who is one of the most popular artists in the world, Nicki Minaj, who has sold over 1 million records, Grammy winner Lil Baby, Grammy nominee Freddie Gibbs, influential rapper Young Thug, who is currently on trial for a possible gang conspiracy, and was 10-year-old daughter Northwest. Also featured is Kodak Black, a rapper who reportedly became interested in Judaism while in prison in 2019 and donated $1,000 to an Orthodox synagogue. Okay. Not all of West's plans have panned out, including a larger album release show originally slated at a stadium in Italy that seats 100,000 people. And while West and Ty Dolla $ign say their album will come out on Friday, it is unclear what record label will release it. Billboard reported in October that West was still shopping the album around. Okay. Now, I know that was a mouthful. That was a lot to read, right? But listen. Listen. If you're still on the fence of whether or not to support Kanye, or I mean, I will say this: he definitely looks. He needs our prayers, just like all these other artists on that list that I just mentioned. Every single one of us deserves like our prayers, and they desperately need our prayers, right? Because at the end of the day, man, you know, if you're a follower of Christ, if you're a brother in the faith, or sister in the faith, right? You know, you want to see these people like have a moment where they have an encounter with God. They have like a legit, genuine encounter with Christ, and kind of like turn their like lives around and like use their talents and abilities like for the better, for the good, and for like God's glory, right? That's best case scenario. That's something that most of us who are of the faith, we want to see that, right? But you know, when you tie yourself and collaborate with people that are mentioned on that list, especially starting with Bad Bunny, who is the only thing that's missing, which he's already done in the past apparently, but it's like they buried that interview or whatever. But the only thing that's missing is for him to say, yeah, I'm an open like public, openly public like Satanist or whatever, right? That's the only thing that's really missing for some of these people to like openly, publicly like confess it. But in reality, starting with Bad Bunny, I mean, it's not a good look. It's just not looking good for you. Okay. Adidas did him dirty. To be honest, the Adidas Yeezys never match up to the OG Nike Yeezys. You know what's funny is I've always seen the Yeezys, here and there. I've always thought they were like weird looking, and I've never tried them on. But I always heard good things about them. But I never heard someone say that there was like a definitive or definitive like difference between one version or the other. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've never really like looked into it. I never really noticed it. I mean, it's funny because I'm into sneakers, but they just never caught my attention like that. Who knows? Maybe one day someone will gift them to me and I'll see for myself how good they actually are or something. We'll see. But anyways, so here, let's go on to this one. All right, this one is by people.com. The headlines read, 2 Chainz updates fans after Miami car accident. Things could have been worse, but it wasn't. On Saturday, the rapper shared a video from the back of an ambulance on his Instagram stories. And this is a story that I actually covered when it happened. I want to say like minutes or hours like when it happened. So I got the news article fresh like around the time when it happened, right? And I posted about it on the shorts. And I guess this is like a follow-up. So 2 Chainz is thankful to be alive after he was involved in a car accident over the weekend. This is a car that hit us from behind. Praise God for the blessings. Things could have been worse, but it wasn't. It's funny how I wonder which God he's praising about that. He wrote on Instagram Monday alongside a photo of a car destroyed from the front. He added, don't want a pity party, but I do appreciate every single person that checked up on me. Sometimes someone in my position don't feel like the love real, or maybe it's mine thing, but I truly felt the love. And don't worry about me, I'm good. Shake Back King. And the second side, 2 Chainz shared a video of himself walking toward the entrance of a jet with his hospital bracelet on. Okay, let me show the picture. Yeah, he was on I-95. Anyways, apparently he's fine now. So he's, I just figured do like a quick follow-up on that. Of course, we have my life in the live chat. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Anyone and everyone who is in the live chat right now, I really do appreciate the love and support. And you guys being here, it means a lot to me. But yeah, 2 Chainz apparently is doing better now. That's good for him. But I would kind of like to hear about the other, because it was like a 3-car accident. He was one of the 3 cars. So I'd like to see, because it was like a Tesla that hit him in the back, like hit his car in the back. But I don't know if the third car was in front of 2 Chainz car, or if it was like behind the Tesla who hit 2 Chainz car. And I'd like to know what happened with those 2 vehicles. And like, I know it said somewhere where those other people that were there, they did get hurt pretty bad. But I don't know if there's been any like talks of like fatal injuries or like deaths or whatever. It'd be nice to know about that. All right, so this next one is by people.com. Also, it says the headlines read, brands cut ties with Sean Diddley Combs e-commerce business after multiple sexual A-word allegations. The rapper has been accused of S-word assault by 4 different women, and I'm sure there's many more to come. In the wake of 4 S-word assault allegations against Sean Diddley Combs, a number of Black-owned businesses are cutting ties with its newly launched e-commerce endeavor, Empower Global. People can confirm that companies Suri, Nudie System, Fulaba, and House of Takura have all terminated their partnership with the platform, which first went live over the summer. Some 14 others have also severed ties with Empower Global, according to Rolling Stone. Reps for Diddy have not commented to People. We pulled Nudie System off of Empower Global as soon as we heard the news of the allegations against Sean Puffy Combs, said Annette Azan, who runs the shapewear and undergarment brand with her daughters. in a statement to people. We are a women's brand. We believe women and stand in support of them. There's nothing effing empowering in the mistreatment of women. Azan goes on to say that while she is fully aware that these are allegations, she believes something happened, especially when she considers how Combs settled his first suit with his ex singer Cassie out of court. And this is the thing. This is what I was talking to my brother and my sister about not too long ago. I was like, the fact that he settled with Cassie outside of court with hush hush money was like the first red flag. I mean, well, truly the first red flag was like the allegations themselves, but then like the second red flag was like, well, if he was willing to like pay her hush hush money to, not say or expose anything further, then, there's something up with that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it says here, uh, Combs first made headlines in November when Cassie filed the bombshell lawsuit against him, alleging that the rapper R-word and S-word trafficked her over the course of an abusive 10 years. Though the lawsuit was resolved to their mutual satisfaction, the following day, more women have come forward since then with allegations of abuse, sex, T-word, and gang R-word. House of Takura, another female-founded business that sells handbags and eyewear aimed at uplifting women, said in a statement that it takes the allegations against Mr. Combs very seriously and finds such behavior abhorrent and intolerable. We do not at all condone any of Mr. Combs' alleged actions. We believe in victims' rights and support victims in speaking their truth, even against the most powerful of people. The statement continued, our brand is heavily focused on the empowerment of girls and women in Africa. We know all too well the indelible trauma that women in abusive relationships experience and the uphill battle that women and girls face in breaking that cycle and finding healing. Our hearts go out to Cassandra Fine and all other women recovering from his cycle, from this cycle. Halle Berry, that's dangerously close to Halle Berry, but okay. Halle Berry, the founder of African jewelry brand Fulaba, is an abuse survivor and says that she doesn't believe that Cassie and these other women are lying. Because again, it's like if people understood, because it's easy for people like to like think the worst of people, like, oh, they're just doing it for a money grab. Oh, they're just doing it for a money grab. But like, you gotta understand, like, even if that were the case, no one in their right mind would put themselves like on purpose through like mockery and finger pointing and like getting like laughed at and getting ridiculed and getting shamed and getting embarrassed like by thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, whether it be on social media or in person, just for money. You know what I mean? Because that's something you have to live with the rest of your life. You're gonna have people like, trying to mock you or not take you seriously and say, "Oh, you did that for the money." Like, if it's true, you know how terrible that is for if it's true for people to like try to like downplay what happened to you for the rest of your life just for money. Uh, oh my goodness. But okay, so let me see if I can finish this. Fulaba is all about empowering women and girls to be their highest selves and radiate from their inner beauty with beautiful adornments handcrafted in West Africa. She says, we will not associate with anything or anyone that is counter to our values, regardless of the potential for financial gain. Abuse of any kind, emotional, physical, sexual, or psychological, is devastating, and it causes unseen damages that only someone who has lived through it can truly understand. Exactly. Suri, a luxury skincare company, issued a similar statement about its decision to terminate their relationship with Empower Global. Quote, as a woman-owned and led company, we do not and will not linger in a gray area about the mistreatment of women. Additionally, from a business standpoint, Empower Global did not elevate sales or maintain communication. Severing this partnership is a collective business and personal decision. Shortly after, the third woman came forward about her alleged assault by Combs. The Hop Hop, I don't know if they meant hip hop, but Hop Hop TV network Revolt, which Combs co-founded with Andy Shawn in 2013, released a statement via social media announcing that Combs would no longer serve as the network's chairman. A representative for the rapper told People the move was only temporary. Um, so yeah, I mean, and then of course at the very end we have like what Diddy said on social media about the allegations not being true. He's fed up with everything that's going on, etc., etc., etc. Let me see some of the. Asked about what's in the pattern and how the many programs like Premiere Pro Winner. Okay, boom, boom, boom. That's nice. I love reading technology talk. That's pretty cool. Um, and I'm glad to hear that it's working out for you in my life. That's awesome. So this is the last article, music industry related, that I'll be bringing up. And then I do want to talk about certain things that are, I think, important for everyone to hear. So just stay the course, and I promise you it won't be in vain. All right. So this article is by power1051.iheart.com. And the article, the headlines read, Rich the Kid reportedly arrested during bomb threat, right? And this is also another short that I covered like a day or two ago. Yeah, and it reads, Rich the Kid had a rough end to his weekend in Miami. Another Miami incident. Man, there's been 3 incidents in Miami, and I didn't even notice. This one, the one with Kanye, apparently, and 2 Chainz. A lot of stuff is going. I'm gonna have to take a ride to Miami one day and just sit there and wait for something to happen, because apparently it's a hot spot for a lot of juicy stories. So, according to a report TMZ published on Monday, December 11th, the new Freezer rapper was apprehended by police for defying police orders during a bomb threat in Miami Beach. Rich was in town for Art Basel when the bomb threat was called into the SLS hotel where he was staying. Law enforcement sources say Rich was trying to get into his hotel room while police were conducting a sweep of the property. He was warned that if he tried to enter the building during the sweep, that he would be arrested. And then he says, I'll bond out in 20 minutes. Rich reported he responded to police. Rich continued to make attempts at entering the hotel. When security stopped him again, Rich allegedly told cops, stop me, before he tried to hop a fence onto the property. 31-year-old actually got into the hotel and was confronted by a K9 unit who ordered him to leave. He was arrested after he refused to leave once again. In a video the outlet posted, you can see police walking with Rich while he was in handcuffs. Rich the Kid was hit with 2 misdemeanor charges of resisting an officer without violence and trespass, and Rich was released from custody not long after he was arrested. He went live shortly after he was freed. See what he had to say about the situation below. I'm not gonna play the video, but yeah, basically, another example of celebrities and singers and artists, or supposed artists, just kind of like using their stardom to kind of like get away with whatever they want to, just because they can pay for it afterwards. It's sickening, and I've talked about it before. It's really, really dumb. And people that are of his fan base applaud it. Not only applaud it, but they're yeah, show, I'm paraphrasing here, but something along the lines of yeah, shut them up. You know what I'm saying? You'll get out in 5 minutes if you really wanted to. And it's just one of those articles where it makes me mad, and it really makes me uncomfortable, because I really do feel that a lot of these people should be held to a higher standard when it comes to behavior in public, especially a bomb threat, yo. We're talking about a bomb, an actual genuine bomb threat going on in that area, why are you gonna be that dumb to like push your way through when your life could be potentially on the line? It doesn't make any sense. And of course, we have the beloved Terrence Castonway. What's going on, man? God bless you. I have not forgotten about your invitation to Canada, by the way. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Um, and thank you. Thank you, Emily Rose. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah. Yeah, I read some of these articles and I'm just like, I'm blown away with how much these people get away with just because they have money. But anyways, so here I'm going to pull up something that's not music or entertainment. Well, technically it is entertainment and related, but here I'm going to bring this up because I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler of what's to come on the channel in the coming days. And technically, I wish I could do it tonight, but alas, I can't because I'm ready for it, but I want my team to be ready for it too. And so I'm waiting for them to tell me if they've seen this already or not. That way we can get into a conversation about this. Man, come on, guys. I'm looking for the image, not this. What is wrong with people? Okay, you know what? We'll go with this, I guess. Really hate. I'm gonna try to see if I can use one of these. It's driving me insane now. Okay, whatever. Let's use this. Okay. All right. Let me know if you guys see the image on the screen. I think you can, but just in case, just let me know. If you haven't seen this movie, all right, Leave the World Behind on Netflix, starring Julia Roberts and I forget the other guy's name. I know Kevin Bacon's in it, and the other characters' names are, escape me right now. But anyways, y'all need to see this movie, like ASAP. I want everyone to watch it, not because it's something like to write home to mom about or nothing like that. It's not. It's not like the greatest movie I've ever seen because the ending is terrible. At least in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But everyone needs to see it because everyone needs to. And I've been saying this. Maybe not every single stream or not every single show. What's the cool called? But I have said it in the past, whether it be like weeks ago or months ago. You know, prepare yourselves. Learn how to read maps. Learn how to use a compass. Have plenty of water and like non-perishable foods in your pantry. And I've said it in the past. You guys know I've said it in the past. But like, try to little by little. All right, don't freak out about it. Don't go filling up like 10 containers. But like, get yourself like 1 or 2 like gas tank containers, like that you can like put like keep at your house or whatever, or like keep in your car. And get some extra gas on the side. Make sure your car make sure your car is like tuned up. If there's like something wrong with it, like whatever the case may be, your tires need rotating or alignment or whatever, get that fixed. And just prep yourselves, yo. And I'm gonna go into a little bit more depth here about, I've been talking to my sister and my parents about this for a while now. But what I want to do is, let's see if I can pull it up here. Okay. All right. Perfect. I need everyone to like listen up real close, guys. This is very important. Um, let's do this. Okay, so I need everyone to pay close attention. All right. Now I'm gonna switch the tab here, but I need everyone to check this out. Okay. If you could get your hands. Okay, that's a good look, Constantine. I appreciate that, bro. And he's right. He's very right. Same thing with water. Like if you have water, like just chilling in a pantry, it's fine up to a certain like period. But what they recommend is also like moving them around every day so that it's not just sitting there or whatever. So same thing with like the gas. Constantine says also make sure you cycle the gas you're storing every 6 months or so because it's not good to let it sit too long. Agreed. Um, but anyways, if you can get your hands on any amount of Faraday bags, all right, do it ASAP. There's some on here that are just $10. You know what I mean? But and there's other ones that are $25 that are big or whatever. But the whole point that I'm trying to make here is to prepare yourselves as best as you can, yo. Okay, and we have a podcast episode like talking about this very thing scenario that we see in that movie Leave the World Behind. That movie is filled to the max with so many Easter eggs for any like quote unquote conspiracy theorists, right? For those of us who are part of like the truth movement and all these other things, it's like a Easter egg festival in that movie of so many things that we have said in the past and that we continuously say every now and then, and it's all in that movie. Yeah, and see that's the thing. There's been talks of solar flares these last few weeks and months. Oh, solar flare approaching the Earth, solar flare approaching, blah blah blah. And it's like we've been warned, quote unquote, by the powers that be, but like none of us are taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Because even I have to buy some of this stuff, and I haven't bought it yet. You know, for obvious reasons at the moment, right? Can't afford it at the moment, but buy as many of these as you can, because if something happens where a solar flare or EMP attack happens, that's going to render cell phones, laptops, desktops, anything digital or electrical useless. And I mean completely, utterly useless. Okay? You're going to lose everything off of your phone. You're going to lose everything off of your laptop. You're going to lose everything on any device that you own. But if you have one of these bags and you store your devices in these bags religiously, and this time I do mean religiously because I do mean routinely, okay? Whenever you're not using it, leave it in this bag. If something like that happens, your device should not, and will not suffer any damages. So, this is me with like the heart in my hand right now. I'm trying my best to be the voice of reason and the voice of wisdom and the voice of preparation. The Bible tells us that God does not allow anything to happen without there first being warnings in some way, shape, or form through some type of means. All right. So take it as a sign from God that I'm one of those factors and I'm one of those signs that is telling you with time in advance, ahead of time, get these things together. Again, learn to read maps, learn to read a compass, know how to stay hydrated in high stakes situation, know how to keep yourself like I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? With the right nutritionals in your system, right vitamins, like the most essential vitamins and minerals in your body, so that you can prolong and like last longer, hydrate yourself for longer, keep yourself yeah, just overall, like not just fed, but like your stomach is stable and metabolism is working in your favor and not against you. um Learn how to change a tire. If you don't know how to change a tire, right now is the time to change the tire, because if ish hits the fan and you're on the road and you have tire issues and you need to change it in an emergency, like you need to learn how to do that ASAP. Learn to do like routine regular maintenance on your car, like oil change or like adding oil, like knowing where to add the oil, knowing where to add the water, all that stuff. And I say that and it sounds like a joke and it sounds funny, but there's a lot of people who don't know how to do those things, that in an emergency situation are gonna get caught like left or like wrong footed, and it's not gonna be good. Tire issues are the bane of my existence. Yeah, same here, bro. I don't know why. I always like have like a nail in one of the tires for whatever reason, and stuff like that happens all to me all the time. So I get it. And yes, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to tell you that the world is going to end tomorrow or today. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is just be prepared. Be prepared, because things, I'm sorry to say, are going to go from bad to worse. There's no going back to normal. There's no going back to the things way, the way things used to be. There's none of that. The things biblically and prophetically are going from bad to worse, and we need to gather information and wisdom ahead of time, so that like we are prepared in worst case scenarios. Um, let's see here. Uh, yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, I actually recommend, to be honest with you, and I was talking to Emily about this, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. But I did say we should all have, those of us who are a part of this community, right? Um, we should all know each other's addresses or have them written down somewhere, right? And have like a midpoint location where if something like this were to happen in the future, right, or when it does happen, at the very least we have like a place where we can kind of like agree to meet at, or have some type of idea of where to meet at should something like this happen. You know what I mean? um yeah, definitely. And I'm not saying dox yourselves here on live chat, that's not what I'm saying. But if we can DM each other our addresses and information like that, that way, again, we have like an idea of like, all right, well, this is where this person is located, and this is what's around them, and landmarks. You know what I mean? That I was telling Emily, landmarks are extremely helpful, because sometimes like the addresses or the directions aren't like the greatest, but like landmarks help. So if you say, oh, I live in this address, but what you'll see around it or close to it is a McDonald's, a Starbucks, and a KFC, then it helps the person pinpoint and like navigate a little easier. You're thinking about I mean, it's coming for us, man. It really is. And the scary part is, and again, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm really not. I promise you, the last thing I want anyone to be is scared. Like what I hope and pray for everyone is for everyone to be calm, cool, and collected, and have a plan in mind, and have some type of structure. Like if this happens, this is somewhat of a plan to follow, right? Every family right now should have like an emergency plan, where it's like, all right, let's say right now, boom, the lights go off, the computer goes off, everything goes off, and it's like a blackout. What do you do? What do we do? What's the first thing that we should do as a family, as a unit, right? Where do we go to? Who do we go to for shelter? Who do we meet up with if something like that happens? Is there a midpoint to meet up with family members, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Because there is no escaping it. There's absolutely no, and that can happen tonight. It can happen while you're sleeping. It can happen when you wake up. I remember last year when the storm, like, it didn't even hit our area like that, but it had strong consequences around the radius of where we live, and there was a blackout. Like we didn't have power or light for like a few days. You know what I mean? We had to walk everywhere, right? Because the roads were like not good to drive in, and there was like trees in the way, there was branches. I did a video on it. I posted a video. I drove at some point because it got a little safer, but initially it wasn't safe to drive around. You know what I mean? And that could happen. And so we all, every single one of us, with our families and all that, we should have a plan in place just in case when it happens, because it is going to happen. Nobody knows when. Just like the coming of Christ, nobody knows the hour or the day, but we know that it's coming. So the same with this. We don't know when this is going to happen. When an EMP attack happens or like a solar flare happens and it turns off all devices, like it's going to happen at one point. And so we need to know or have an idea of like what to do in that moment. I also say grow your own food, even if you have a tiny space somewhere. Lawns are useless. Food isn't. Yep. Terrence says it's like when we were going into the year 2000. Remember how everyone was saying something could happen? I remember seeing people staggering. Yeah. Yeah. And see, I don't want people to freak out and go out and buying like a bunch of stuff at once, because that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is just gradually over time, little by little, without having to look like a crazy person, you know, like a box of bottles of water every week or every few weeks in between. You know, if you can buy one or two boxes of or cases of water, hey, even better. Non-perishable foods every now and then, every few days or weeks in between. And just stock up, you know, as best as you can, and be smart about it. You know, like store it somewhere where you know for a fact it's not going to go like, you know, the room temperature, all these things to consider. But yeah, like I'm not trying to scare nobody. Ain't rice last year's. I don't know. I've never looked into it, but I mean, let's look it up right now real quick. How does rice in pantry? Interesting. Okay, so check this out. My bad. So it says here, milled rice, for example, white rice. If stored properly, milled rice will keep almost indefinitely on the pantry shelf, meaning it can last forever if stored properly. Whole grain rice, because of the oil and the bran layer, this rice has a shelf life of approximately 6 months. So the brown rice or the whole grain rice lasts around 6 months. Refrigerator or freezer storage is recommended for longer shelf life. Okay, so if you fridge it or freeze it, it will last longer, right? But apparently, if you store the white rice correctly and effectively, it could last forever. So hey, that's crazy. All right. It looks like the EMP attack has already started. I'm kidding. Blessings of love to you as well, William. I can't wait to receive the comics and do an unboxing of them. That's going to be amazing. And thank you for the blessing that you sent the other day. I appreciate it. Which, by the way, as I always tell you guys, you don't have to but if you can and want to, you know, there goes the Cash App or whatever. If you feel like you want to bless myself, the family, or the channel itself, that's one way to do it. And there's other options like in the banner below me. But anyways, back to the situation at hand here. Um, I really, really need you guys to prepare yourselves because again, you know, I don't know if it was with William or if it was with Dead Twist or who, but I remember on a stream we were talking about it, and they were telling me, or maybe it was, yeah, maybe it was William. I think someone said something about EMP attacks don't have to be these large radius attacks. It could be smaller radius targeted attacks, and it could be pinpointed here and there. Um, and so if that's the case, I'm pretty sure that's kind of like what's going to happen. All right. It's going to be chosen spots around the country where the EMP attacks are going to happen. I don't think everyone's going to go through it, but if everyone does go through it, I'm pretty sure some places might be able to recover sooner than others, depending on what their plan is, because no one knows what the powers that be have like really actually planned. Um, but anyways, yeah, Faraday bags. And if you don't have a Faraday bag, the next option is to put your mobile devices inside of a microwave. Don't turn it on. I'm not telling you to put it in microwave and turn on the microwave and burn your phone or your laptop. But microwaves have a similar technology that Faraday bags have, which is they protect from outer EMP type related attacks. So if you don't have a Faraday bag, right? You don't have a Faraday bag or something similar to it, your next safest bet is like just to place your mobile devices inside the microwave. And I think you could even unplug the microwave just in case you're scared of something happening. You can unplug it. But I do believe that's like the second best thing, you know? So, but yeah, there's so many things to think of to like help prep yourselves in advance, man, because again, if I recommend everyone watch the movie, right? Leave the World Behind, because again, it leaves so many detailed and in-depth Easter eggs that a lot of us individuals from like the Truther movement have mentioned in the past or continue to mention every now and then. I know for a fact A Call for an Uprising has been talking about this movie before it even came out, like weeks and months in advance. And he was pretty much stating how it was once again one of those like what's the phrase, predictive programming, you know, like they've done with they've done predictive programming with that show Twisted Metal. They've done it with what's that one franchise movie, movie franchise, the one where The Purge, predictive programming with The Purge, predictive programming with so many movies, right? And yeah, if you want to kind of like get a glimpse of like what to expect or something along the lines of what to expect, I definitely recommend that watching that movie. Let's see. Okay, I think I missed some of the stuff. William says, I mind telling you about this. You need to show videos. I could find some. Yeah, definitely share links. I am going to be on tonight's show for a little longer, only because the topics at hand are a little like more important, and I really do want people to prepare themselves. And yeah, so if you do about this, that would keep you awake after seeing it. Well, if you have links to some of those videos, I really like share them on the live chat, and I will open them up on a separate tab for sure. But what I'm trying to get at, yo, is another thing that, and this is like a more important thing. I know it's gonna sound like it's gonna sound messed up the way I'm gonna verbalize it, but it's the only way of saying it where like it'll confront you. But we need to get we need to get this is great. We need to get right with God. We really do need to get right with God. We need to like pray more frequently. We need to fast every chance we get. We need to um, read the Word of God a lot more. I'm someone who, even though I do all these things, I'm aware that I could do a lot better, and I could give God a lot more time. I could be a lot more, have a lot more alone time with God, alone time with the Word of God. Um, because all these, like, if you're the more connected to God you are, and the more your spirit is in tune with the Holy Spirit, the better discernment you'll have, right? Because another thing to consider is the whole like blue beam project, right? Which at some point they're going to um, shoot up some like imagery in the sky, and some of us will think that it's like the rapture. Some of us will think it's like the second coming of Christ. Some of us will see that it's like something else. Everyone is going to see what they have believed that they have been waiting on, and it's going to be technologically rigged, okay, just to confuse some of us, just to um what's the word, for some of us to like feel, I forget the word, like left behind or whatever. And so many things are going to happen that if you don't have discernment, you're going to believe it. You're gonna feel failed, like if God failed you or you failed God, etc., etc., etc. And so I really do hope and pray that every single one of us that is a part of this channel, this community on this channel, is doing the very best to not only get right with the Lord, but like just let's get closer to Him. He yearns and desires to get close to us, and yet here we are with millions of distractions around us, right? And we kind of like fail to like give time to a being, right, that wants to spend their entire time with us. So much so that He's giving us plenty of time to repent, plenty of time to turn around and like walk towards Him, and plenty of time to get in tune with Him, right? Because He wants us to spend eternity, like eternal life with Him. So it's like I said last time. A lot of people, they'll say, "Oh yeah, yeah, you guys has been saying that Christ is coming back forever, right?" But I'm like, have you ever sat down and thought that just maybe, one of the reasons that He hasn't done it yet is because He's waiting on you to turn to Him. He's waiting on you to repent. He's waiting on you to accept Him as your Lord and Savior. He's waiting on you because He loves you and He wants you to spend the rest of your life with Him in eternity and life. Have you ever sat down and considered these possibilities? And it's like people just, they want to live their life away from God. They don't want it. It scares them. Like the afterlife scares a lot of people because they're like, oh, like if there is an afterlife, then like what if it's not what we like thought? It's not what we like we're told or whatever. Wouldn't, at the very least, would you not want to live a life that not only blesses you in person, in real time, in real life here, right, and is like for your benefit, and also can potentially, because if you don't believe all the way, at least there's a potential that there is something to look forward to in the afterlife. But yeah, ultra wise. It's in Second Peter. Tells us exactly why. Yeah, but I just want everyone to be prepared, y'all. That's all. By the way, while we wait for William to share a link or two for the NP attack stuff or related to it, I found a video that I might share a little bit of, just because it's something that I've brought up in the past before, and it's just amazing how I love seeing like-minded channels and like-minded people share their content and align with like what we've been talking about in the past, you know. All right, so before we continue, okay, so I know a lot of new subscribers who recently, within the past few like months, weeks, and days, who have subscribed to this channel. I know you have subscribed because of like some of the shorts, right? Some of the shorts are funny. Some of the shorts are like gossipy. Some of the shorts are just entertaining. Some of the shorts are like related to like your favorite artist, your favorite like whatever, right? And and as I've said in the past, I appreciate and I'm grateful for all the new subscribers for whatever the reason may be. If you subscribe to the channel because you saw something funny, cool, I appreciate that. If you subscribe to the channel because I updated you on your favorite artist, hey, I appreciate that too. I'm grateful for that subscription. I promise you it's not in vain, but let it be known. Let it be known. And I have to say this and do this every now and then, just because I want people to be clear of what to truly expect from the channel. Because I might fish and reel you in with some of those shorts, right? Or some of the shorts. And you might find it informative, whatever, the content on the video is. Maybe you didn't know that someone got shot, and maybe you didn't know that someone was arrested, maybe whatever the case may be, and you subscribe to the channel. Oh, that was informative. Oh, that was nice. I didn't know that happened to my favorite rapper or my favorite singer, right? But the reality of this channel is, this is one of the realities of this channel. Okay, I want y'all to read this title right here. Okay, this is one of the foundations of our channel. Okay, it says here, ex-CIA agent revealed they created gangster rap. This video is by none other than The Truth Is channel on YouTube, which I'm subscribed to. And if you're not subscribed to them, I highly recommend that you subscribe to them ASAP. They align extremely well with like our channel and our mindset, and things that we bring up and talk about whenever we do podcasts and serious videos, right? And the description says, in this Truth Talk episode, we will be talking about how the CIA secretly created gangster rap. We will talk about the alleged CIA involvement in gangster rap music. We will also look into the secret meeting that changed hip-hop to determine who are the ones truly running the music industry, and so on and so forth. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, I'm bringing this up because in reality, some of the foundational goals of our channel is just that, to expose what the secular and mainstream music industry is truly about, and who truly runs the show behind the curtains, who pulls the strings, why it's not a good idea to give the mainstream secular music industry your time, why it's not a good idea to give any of them the time of day, and so on and so forth. Especially in this era and in this generation, it's not a good idea. Why? From Bad Bunny all the way to like artists and rappers and singers like before him up until like now, like there has been a strong wave of satanic culture within the music industry, even way before all that. But just nowadays, I want to say from like 2013, 2012 forward up until now, it just got drastically worse. And it keeps getting worse and worse as time goes on. Like before 2012, it was there because you had people like Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and all these other people having like Illuminati / like Freemasonry imagery in their music videos and in their music. But like now we got singers and rappers doing lap dances for the devil. We got rappers putting blood in their shoes. We've got people like rappers and singers doing like actual satanic devil worship imagery in their music videos or their shows. Like it's never been so widespread, because before it just used to be like rock music, right? That was like the thing. It was like rock music was like the main one to carry out the satanic visuals. And but ever since then up until now, it's been widespread through like pop music, rap music, anything you could think of in between. And it's just sickening. And we're also here to help expose it, and we're also here to help, like, show you guys what's really going on. But anyways, we will get to that video some other time. I do want to pull up the videos that William wants to share with us, because I do want to see how all that is going. Okay, let's see here. And by the way, like, every time I talk about, the real meaning of this channel and the real purpose of this channel, I lose a lot of subscribers. I've been known to lose 30 subscribers on the spot whenever I say this is not a gossip channel. This is not like a TMZ type of channel, although it might look like that from a distance, or look that way from a distance. But we're not a gossip channel, and I have to every now and then say it again, because I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I don't want you to subscribe thinking that this is one thing and then realize that it's like something else. But like, again, I'll reel you in with the entertaining, informative stuff, right? Because it's part of the bigger picture. But in reality, I'm just bringing you in to say, good, like, are you informed? Did you like what you see? Great. Now let's take a behind the scenes of why that happened, and like why it's not a good idea to support these artists and these rappers and all that, and so on and so forth. So, I'm pretty sure, like, after tonight's stream, I'm gonna lose a lot of subscribers again. It is what it is. I'm willing to take that hit. It sucks because it's like I wish people were like more open-minded. But if it happens, it happens, and I'm okay with it. Like, I can't get mad at people for, whatever reason, being turned off about it or whatever. Like, it is what it is, really. Um, but okay, let's let's go to the stream, and hopefully I can pull up the links. Bear with me. All right, so we got two videos that William, no, three. Okay, I'm gonna open up the first one. Second one. Third one. I do believe it's just three, right? One, two, 3. Oh, maybe it's 4. Oh man. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I don't know which ones I opened up. Well, I know I opened up 3 different ones, but I know there's like one missing. Whatever. I'll get to it in a second. Um, okay, I think now I opened up all 4 different ones. Maybe not. I'll know in a second. I guess I have a lot of tabs open up, so I'm trying to. Okay. Who is not a moderator here? That should be, by the way. I do apologize. I know like I'm taking forever to like play one of these videos, but like they're all like loading. So I do apologize about that. Here's some changes your DNA. Okay. So this one is that one. Craig. Blueprint. Okay. I guess I'll have to pinpoint which video is missing in a second, but they're this one's relatively short. This one's relatively short, and this one is really short. So I'll start with this one, I guess. Okay. Again, I do apologize. It's taking forever, but I'm waiting on the videos to load. No, no, I haven't played any of the videos I have up. I only had like, well, now I have less, but I had like maybe like 7 tabs up or 8. Now I only have like 5. Yeah. But anyways, I mean, yeah, that's true, but that just means that they potentially like hid those chemicals through other means, you know, whether it be like the food or like the products that we use and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it's probably less chemtrails nowadays because maybe they don't need as much anymore. Um, anyways, let's see if I can play one of the videos already because this is driving me insane. Okay. Why is this? Okay, whatever. How do you skip this commercial? You can't skip it. It's like they force you to like go through it. Okay. No, this is like bad. It's like really, really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for this commercial to be over. Anyways, it's kind of dumb that they force you to like a commercial. They don't give you any options like skip it or whatever. But I want to wait for that one because it's the shortest video out of the 4 that I have to like show you guys. Yeah. They seeded us, and now they're doing whatever the. Yep, that's true. Spain. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. Let's see where we're at with the video. Damn, really? Yo. It's getting ridiculous over here, yo. I feel like refreshing this, but I'm scared that if I refresh it, it's going to be worse. Let's try refreshing. Hopefully it's not as bad. I think I'm going to give myself between like 9 and like 9:30 to call it a night today. It's so slow, y'all. I don't get it. It's working fine. Like, okay, at least this is like a shorter commercial. Whatever. Okay, almost there, guys. Yeah, I feel terrible making y'all like wait, but I have no choice. Like I literally have like no choice but to wait along with you. Okay, so finally the video loaded, and I can share the tab with you guys. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. All right. So let's get it. It's only 4 minutes.
Stove, far off black holes, and the palm of your hands all have in common? Radiation, baby. It's everywhere. Up and at 'em, friends. Trace here, emitting and absorbing radiation at your eyeballs for D News. When I say radiation, though, most people do this. But to be honest, radiation on its own isn't necessarily harmful. The term radiation is super broad. Gamma rays shooting out of stars is radiation. Heat coming off the pavement on a hot day, that's radiation too. And the radio waves picked up and emitted by cell phones, radio station, and Wi-Fi networks are all also radiation. Even the light you're seeing on this screen right now is radiation. The thing is, even though radio, microwave, visible, and infrared are technically radiation, when we say that word, most people think of dangerous high-energy particles called ionizing radiation. That includes ultraviolet, X-rays, or gamma rays, which makes sense, but what can this stuff do when it hits your body? In 1927 in the journal Science, Hermann Muller published a paper showing the ionizing radiation of X-rays damaged the genes of fruit flies. He later won a Nobel Prize for that. Ionizing radiation is a high-energy radiation. It's got lots of energy in it. When this high-energy particle or wave hits an atom, the atom absorbs that energy, causing the weakest electron to pop off. This creates a charged atom called an ion. Do that enough, and all that high energy can cause chemical changes in our tissue, which is also made of atoms. If ionizing radiation affects too many cells at once, or we absorb a bunch over time, that's when we risk sickness, radiation poisoning, or eventually cancer. That happens when the radiation changes how things fit together. It might knock off bits of our DNA, mess with its structure, or at worst, break one or both strands of the DNA double helix. That alone isn't damaging, but sometimes the body makes mistakes when repairing that damage, causing more widespread issues. But chances are you'll never have to worry too much about how much radiation you're being exposed to. Radiation dosage is measured in sieverts. 1 sievert in a short time can cause radiation sickness, and 10 can kill, but because we'd never really encounter a full sievert, scientists usually talk in millisieverts. Every year, just living on Earth exposes us to 2.4 millisieverts in natural background radiation. It's fine. A chest X-ray, for example, is about 6.8 millisieverts. So while one X-ray doesn't hurt you, a bunch throughout your life or all at once can damage your tissues enough to cause health problems. And if that weren't complicated enough, there are different types of ionizing radiation: alpha, beta, gamma, and X-rays. Those are listed in increasing energy levels. Alpha radiation is the slower big fella. It can't really penetrate your body, but it's essentially a handful of protons and neutrons. Beta is basically a tiny, fast-moving electron. It can penetrate your body, but not some denser materials like aluminum. Then there's gamma radiation, which is just pure energy, moving super fast. It's so small, it can pass between your cells, but if it hits your DNA, it's gonna mess you up, though it won't make you green and invulnerable. In fact, gamma ray energy is so high, it can pass through you, aluminum, concrete, though not lead. It's too dense. X-rays are kind of like gamma rays, but lower energy. In the end, you probably don't have to worry a lot about ionizing radiation. UV rays can damage DNA over time, so wear sunscreen, but X-rays are highly regulated, and hopefully you haven't spent too much time near unbridled nuclear reactions or exposed yourself to cosmic rays. But most radiation is just regular non-ionizing stuff. Heck, even humans emit infrared radiation in the form of heat, and some ionizing radiation that we absorb from food like bananas. It's everywhere, and though some of it can damage you, it's not all bad. What if you lived in a place surrounded by radiation? You know, if it was in the earth and the water and up in the sky. Animals living around Chernobyl survive in that environment every day. Watch as Animal Planet presents the world premiere of Life After Chernobyl, Tuesday, April 26th at 10/9 Central. How do you guys feel about radiation now? Does more knowledge help alleviate your fears of it? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so you get all the D news.
Yeah, some of that stuff I mean, some of it was new information to me, but a lot of it, we had to like take and like study and like pass tests like for the TSA position at the airport that involve like, you know, levels of like radiation and what they could cause like in the body, and if there is any amount of radiation being used like on a passenger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So some of it was new information, which I appreciate William for sharing the link at all, because a lot of it was, you know, new information to me. But some of it I was like, all right, I remember hearing about this on the test. But okay, so here, but I'll do like a good portion of it.
1,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz.
The guys that created the religious symbols know all this stuff. These guys knew all this stuff. We live in an electromagnetic universe. This is what we are told, where everything spins and vibrates. And the electromagnetic universe is actually a subtle deception. You'll understand as we go why I say this. It's a very subtle deception, a very important subtle deception, because it's not the electromagnetic universe that we live in. It's the magneto-electric universe that we live in. And just twisting those two around would have given us a very different perception while we grow up about the world that we live in and the universe and this reality of us, if we don't think of it as the electromagnetic but the magneto-electric. Huge consciousness shift in growing up with that kind of thinking. Everything has its own specific frequency, as we mentioned before. Prime resonance frequency. Everything vibrates at its own frequency. That's how we can manipulate things with frequency and sound and resonance. All comes to the same thing when you start breaking it down. Sound and resonance are also the common links of all creation. In Christianity, we have the Word. We have the in Hinduism, the Egyptians that sang the universe into creation. And my favorite, the Aboriginals, that believe the world was sung into creation with 3 sacred songs, or brought into creation with 3 sacred songs, which is the equivalent to the Holy Trinity. And we start seeing the whole important structure of music and resonance and chord structures, harmonic resonance in music. We get the 6 days of creation very obviously become visible in sacred geometry, and the 6 aspects of show us cymatic patterns. And the 6 aspects of the all-seeing eye of Horus show us 6 very obvious resonating ratios that tell us that all these ancient cultures understood sound, resonance, and frequency, and it's encoded in all the things that they did. Sound is the source of all creation, and it's all about coherence and harmonic resonance. Even in our bodies, if the cells of our body are not in coherent harmonic resonance, our cells are in dis-ease, in disease, and that's why we get sick. And if we're not resonating with the earth frequencies, the natural earth frequencies of Gaia, we are in dis-ease with the Mother Earth that we live on and walk on, and that's why we get sick. Hans Jenny's beautiful documentary called Cymatics in the 60s will show you exactly how sound is pretty much behind everything in creation. We've already looked at sound manifesting in physical form. This is the quickest and easiest way for us to comprehend, once again, how this untouchable, invisible thing called sound can manifest in physical form. That little thing on the metal plate, with the sand on the metal plate on that video. That's just probably the quickest way for us to say, okay, sound can manifest physical shapes. And sound also inspired religious symbols, because the guys that created the religious symbols know all this stuff. These guys knew all this stuff, and they know they're all connected to the ancient bloodlines. And some of these beautiful images of the cymatic patterns, when you drill into it, you get that perfect cross in a circle of the source of the sound. And that's it. The source of the sound is this beautiful cross in a circle, and this is why most of the religious movements have the cross in a circle as their symbol, recognizing that the source of everything in creation is sound, the sound of the Creator. And sound and resonance, that does everything you can imagine. Right? Creates light, levitates, boils water, creates DNA. Sound heals and destroys pathogens, moves beyond the speed of light. And we have hypersound and laser and Sazer technology, not laser, sound lasers, Sazer. Sound makes things invisible, energizes the water we drink, so that the water actually heals us, and it also energizes the air that we breathe, so that we can actually survive from the air that we breathe. Otherwise, we would not survive from the air that we breathe if it wasn't for sound. And very importantly, sound is the precursor to electromagnetism, not the other way around. Sound causes electromagnetism. This is a big one for us to come to terms with. Ancient civilizations understood all this, and they used sound and frequency as a source of energy in every possible way. They used sound and frequency to control humanity, and it seems that they were focusing for some reason on our pineal gland. They had to destroy our pineal gland, and the more you study this, the more you realize why that was critical, because it seems that our pineal gland was that third eye that so many of us are aware of, or we keep calling it our third eye, that connected us to everything in creation and allowed us to pick up the frequencies and the invisible, untouchable, unfathomable stuff through the third eye, and actually be able to communicate telepathically with everything and everyone, and interact not only with other beings, but with other entities and beings and animals and trees and rocks, because of our third eye. That thing there is the magic part of our body and our anatomy that's been completely destroyed. And it seems from all these images that they took a lot of time and effort to destroy our pineal gland. And they continue to do so today, as you are aware of. And they used cone-shaped tools to do this. This is a key thing here. You can clearly see the cone-shaped tools, and this is a repetitive theme all the time. And the pineal gland, and also, by the look of it, the DNA, that is obviously the code that creates the pineal gland in anatomy eventually. And sound and frequency. Notice the magnetic wrist watch here. And I'm giving the game away here, because I'm telling you what that is. There is a cone. This guy's holding a cone in his hand, very important cone-shaped tool that he's doing some function with. And there's another cone here on his arm. At first you think, oh, it's just an interpretation of the guy's muscle. No, it's a cone. It's a perfect cone that feeds into this magnetic wristwatch. And you'll know why that's a magnetic wristwatch very soon. And the same kind of control through using frequency and sound and magnetism and electromagnetism that was used in ancient times, the all-seeing eye of Horus, it's still being used by the broadcast companies today. You know, it's encoded in their logos. It's everywhere around us. but we're just too blind to see it. Sound as a tool and technology, very important. Sound creates light. Even this, you add attach a LED light to a speaker, and you put a speaker in a noisy place, you light the little LED up. That's spectacular. So it works both ways, light and sound. Every sound frequency has a light frequency, and every light frequency has a sound frequency attached to it. Corey Good, in a recent interview, said that he was in some giant underground cavern somewhere, and there was this invisible source of light. And when he asked, where does the light come from? He was told the light was coming from the sound. The light was being created by the sound. In Egypt, the ankh was used for healing. That's just a resonating device, sound frequency resonating for healing. The Native American medicine wheel is clearly just a cross in a circle as a source of all things, so from sound to heal people. Royal Rife, the man who cured all disease in 1931, they did that with sound and resonance and frequency. Spectacular achievement in curing cancer in the wards. This is his handwritten book that I had the privilege of seeing. It's in a private library in Sedona, Arizona. There's about 700 pages in there, I think, and there are page after page with his own handwritten frequencies for all the different diseases. One of my biggest, most exciting obsessions at the moment, and if there are people in this room that can do this, please go away and do this. You know that honey lasts forever. It doesn't go off. It's not affected by viruses, bacteria, pathogens. It's one of those miraculous things. Apparently, the reason that honey does that is because of the frequencies of the bees' wings when they're building their honeycombs and when they're creating and bringing in the honey. So it's a frequency of the bees' wings that creates the hexagonal structure of honeycombs. It's also interesting is that the hexagonal structure is a structure of oxygenated and structured water that cures disease. This is really important. If any one of you can go and record the frequency of bees in a beehive, the buzzing of the bees' wings, and you take that frequency to a lab, a biochemistry lab, and you expose a petri dish of viruses, bacteria, and fungus to the frequency of the bees' wings, I suspect that frequency will kill the bacteria. George Lakhovsky's multiple wave oscillator is a spectacular device with which he cured his father. Listen carefully. He cured his father of quadriplegia. You don't cure people of quadriplegia, right? His father was admitted with quadriplegia into the hospital in the USA. 6 weeks later, he walked out on crutches. The way he treated him is every day he walked in there with a little small handheld portable multiple wave oscillator from George Lakhovsky and treated him for about 45 minutes up and down his spine, after which he exposed him to color light therapy for another hour. He did this for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. His father walked out on crutches. I saw the hospital report. It says, Mr. So-and-so exhibited a remarkable recovery. That's it. It's spectacular. They just won't go there. They will not be, engaged in any explanation. In 2011, Anthony Holland, this is now in a TED talk, show us which frequencies kill cancer cells. Very briefly. Okay, he tells us between 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz kills cancer cells. And he shows us in the TED talk.
We now know that cancer is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz. So now we attack leukemia cells. Leukemia cell number 1 tries to grow a copy of itself, but the new cell is shattered into dozens of fragments and scattered across the slide. Leukemia cell number 2 then hyperinflates and also dies. Leukemia cell number 3 then tries to make another cancer cell. The new cell is shattered and the original cell dies.
Magnetrons obviously generate huge amounts of energy, and that's just sound. It's a resonant cavity magnetron. Resonant cavity magnetron that's used in laser beams, laser technology, microwaves, all use magnetrons for that technology. Sound acts as a cloak of invisibility. There's so much new information about this. This opens a whole new chapter and debate. There's very advanced new sound cloaking technology right now available. This plastic 3D acoustic pyramid acts as a acoustic cloak, make things invisible when you put it underneath it, when you expose that pyramid to specific sound frequencies. And that pyramid is reminiscent of what? Is reminiscent very strongly of Eastern architecture. Sound creates hurricanes. In 2003, these guys lodged a patent to create hurricanes with sound. And then here's another one. Sound creates supercluster galaxies. When I said earlier, the lower the frequency, the larger the cymatic shape. Now you've got a frequency that's 57 octaves lower than middle C, rumbling away from a supermassive black hole in the Perseus cluster in the key of B flat, creating a supercluster galaxy. And it's amazing. This is apparently an image of it. I like the one on the left because when you watch Hans Jenny's cymatics documentary, that looks identical to the images of lycopodium powder on a metal plate with sound frequencies on it. This is like lycopodium powder that's creating supercluster galaxies. This is insane. So you start to get the idea of as above, so below. There's no end. This is what really disturbs me. The fact that we could put out fire with sound, and yet this has not been employed or used anyway. Why? Because it's not good for business. Remember, the moment we stop the growth and the need for money, the entire global financial system collapses. This is just spectacular. These kids developed this little resonator that puts out a fire. 5 seconds. Count it from the moment they put it down to the frying pan to when the fire is out. 5 seconds. Imagine the fire trucks arriving at a burning building. The ladders go up, and instead of fire hoses, a bunch of speakers get switched on and put out this frequency. That fire in the building will be out in literally few seconds or a minute. The entire fire, everywhere, because it'll resonate right through the building. But that's not going to happen, because that's going to save a lot of money.
Swarm robotics, where it'd be attached to a drone, and that would be applied to forest fires or even building fires, where you wouldn't want to sacrifice.
5 seconds. Sound energizes the air we breathe, and this is how we actually oxygenate our bodies and our lungs, or through our lungs, the blood in our veins and our arteries, rather. Because as you breathe, the air that you breathe makes a bloody noise, and it goes into your lungs, and it goes into the smaller and smaller orifices as it moves into your lungs. So it speeds up and speeds up and speeds up, and it goes higher and higher and creates these frequencies. And it's the energy and the sound of the air that you breathe that actually energizes the oxygen in the air. So that oxygen is buzzing as it's moving faster and faster. By the time it reaches your alveoli, and it goes from the alveoli into your artery, from the lungs into the arteries, that oxygen in the air is buzzing and energized from the sound. And that's when it goes into your blood, and it's used in the blood, and it's stripped of the vibrating energy. And when it's stripped of the vibrating energy, you breathe it out again, and it just repeats that cycle. And that's how we energize the oxygen that we breathe. That don't teach you this at medical school. In 2011, Luc Montagnier spontaneously generated DNA by exposing a tube of water to certain sound frequencies that had the frequencies of a DNA in it, and constituted DNA in an empty test tube. If you can create DNA in an empty test tube with sound, now you start understanding how we can start cloning other species and other creatures just by sound and vibration. And then obviously sonoluminescence, the star in a jar. God said, let there be light. A bubble with brilliant light inside a body of water. Is it possible that all the star systems that we see out there are actually just giant bubbles of light in a never-ending mass of water? I don't know.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I was away from the the computer for a quick bathroom and kitchen intermission for myself. But I just saw Uncanny Valley's comment, and we actually talked about that half hour ago. I was talking, I was giving, I'm not going to give a commentary or feedback on it yet, and I'm not going to go in depth about it just yet because I want my team to like see it first, and then we'll do like a podcast, team stream version stream talking about Leave the World Behind. I have my thoughts on it. However, I did mention a bunch of things earlier in the stream on how to prep in advance for such an occasion, and at the bare minimum, warning everyone to be prepared or start getting prepared for a potential possible scenario like that. So I'm glad you brought that question up because we did talk about it earlier. If you want to hit rewind and hear what I have to say about it, like, again, I don't go in depth about it, but I did tell everyone to watch it. It's definitely someone that everyone should see. Everyone should make their own mental notes of and kind of like learn from and prepare. Half hour ago when I was talking about it, I stated, learn to read maps, learn to use compasses, have your pantry and kitchen like stocked with non-perishable foods. Get Faraday bags, Faraday bags, Faraday bags, Faraday bags. I'm going to keep saying it until the disc breaks and the record breaks. Faraday bags, Faraday bags, Faraday bags. Get them. And if you can't get your hands on Faraday bags, use your microwave. That's going to be extremely, extremely, extremely important. Like if you're someone who your sole life depends on your devices and your technology, then you're going to want to get yourself some Faraday bags. Like if you don't know how to do anything without your device, like your phone, your laptop, then get yourself Faraday bags. If your life depends on GPS, get Faraday bags. If you depend on Google search, get Faraday bags. Get them ASAP, yesterday, already. Because when the ish hits the fan and the grid gets taken down, and it could be tonight, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next week, next month. Nobody knows when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And if it does happen and your life depends on that stuff, then you're going to want to like protect it by every means possible. Constantine says, JDQ, I dropped the Kanye article for you up there. Let me see. Probably have, okay, I see it. Okay, give me 1 second. You'll have to pull up a different tab to get a hold of that link. Me. Man, I hate when the computer acts so slow, bro. I love my desktop computer. I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world because it works great most of the time, and because of the person who gifted it to me. I love them to death. But these moments are very annoying. And it doesn't always happen, but when it happens, it just tears me apart because I'm trying to give you guys like a decent like show, a decent stream, and sometimes it just gets in the way of that. Yeah. My life couldn't have said it any better. If you don't want to be a victim of the relay attack, get a Faraday bag ASAP. Yesterday, already. And while I'm not a person who would completely rely on technology or my device, I will be honest in saying that as you know, it does have a decent amount of hold onto my life. And it is always a quick fix, right? It's not good to rely on technology like that. But like, for example, like I know how to like read a map. I know how to like use a compass and all these things. if need be, right? And like dire consequences or like a really worst case scenario, I can do it. But obviously, as with everyone else, you know, if it just so happens that some stuff on my devices will just make things just a little bit easier, then yeah, of course, I'll try my best to make sure my devices aren't fried. Oh man, we got Reality Survivor up in the house. Blessings and love to you, brother. Oh, Hacker's been busy. I see you. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate the love and support and the fact that you're here. So thank you about that. But here, I'm going to pull up the link that Constantine shared on the chat. If I can get to the stream where the link is in. This is something else, yo. And by the way, 10 viewers at a time is a huge milestone for this channel. So for all of you who are all in here that are making a part of the 10 viewers or more that we have in here, congratulations to you and us that we reached that type of milestone. Again, I appreciate the love and support you guys always show this channel. Where are you? Finally got. I see some of y'all throwing up stickers. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's the link. Found it. Oh, okay. Got you. Later, continue with supporting. Okay, all right. So I'm going to share this real quick. All right. Here, let's. I thought I was already sharing the screen. All right, never mind. All right, here we go. So this is the article that Constantine was talking about earlier. I mean, look at his face, yo. Again, that cannot. I'm sorry, it just can't be him, yo. Anyways, the headlines read: looks like a neo-Nazi metal band inspired Kanye West's new album art. If Kanye West is striving to distance himself from his past controversy of praising Nazis and sharing anti-Semitic views, his new album cover art sure as heck is not going to help. Recently, via Playboy Cardi and the Donda Times Instagram account, the album cover art for West and fellow rapper Ty Dolla $ign's upcoming collaborative effort titled Vultures was revealed. There we go. Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to... Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, we have a vulture, a shovel, land... Is that a scarecrow in the background? The heck? Whoa. Huh. I don't know. Let's kind of pull these images apart. So. Okay, Vulture's album cover features art by Caspar David Frederick, landscape with graves. Okay, that's what I was going to ask, if that was a grave or what. Okay. So that these are either scarecrows or straight up like actual bodies on the stake. But okay, I was trying to figure that out. It was like legit like graves or something. But okay. I'm trying to see, is this like supposed to be like, okay, was this taking inspiration from this or what? I just want to read. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Same font as Burzum. Okay. Now, I mean, I will say though, um, I feel like everybody they want. One of these days, I'm gonna pull up a video that kind of like goes into the whole, uh, thing that happened with, as a call for an uprising would say, the land of bagels, right, and them being like extinct because of certain things that happened. Because I really want to get into depth about that. Like, I really want to see and understand why some people believe what they believe, what they've been taught, and some don't believe right away. You know what I mean? And yeah, I get that. That I can't say that that was the case for me right away, but yeah, the colors that he picked, the type of like visuals that he chose, and all that, I can understand how he was trying to pretty much conjure up, some type of like emotion, like a whether it be like resentful, sad, um, kind of like stir the pot, if you will, and I get that part, but I don't know. I don't know if I. Hmm. I'm reading some of it. Taylor called West's decision pompous and ridiculous, while also adding that if Slipknot did such a move, they would be demonized. But see, he is going to be demonized regardless. Like, he already is getting criticized over it. So I don't know. But hey, thanks for sharing that post with me. I really appreciate it, man. Good looks as always. What was I gonna say? See, I wouldn't know. See, I'm not. You're gonna have to. I'd have to go back and look at it more closer. I mean, closer. But okay, let's look at the font real quick. So I'm gonna, if it lets me look at it. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Try and get like a closer look at the font, just slightly, just to kind of get like a clear like visual. Okay, let's see here. So there's something on the inside of each letter that looks like, I can't tell if that's like supposed to be like a spear or like an anvil of some sort sideways. Like if it was like an anvil pressed up against like the inside of the letter. But I know it can't be an anvil. There has to be like a different like meaning behind it. But Burzum and images. Okay, I will do that. I will do that right now. Burzum images. Okay. I'm not gonna have to turn off my monitor, am I? Let me know now, because I'm not trying to have nightmares, bro. I'm assuming it has to do with something like occultic. Like Celtic, maybe. Okay. Well, hold on. Let's do something. Let's have the images and all that, but I also want like an actual background of this band. Okay. Okay. Oh, Swedish black metal. Okay. All right. So I wasn't too far away. It's like here in UK. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Thanks for letting me know in advance. I'm actually still going to share the tab that I pulled up here, just because I find it interesting. So it says here about Burzum is a Norwegian music project founded by Varg Vikernes in 1991. Although Burzum never played live performances, it became a staple of the early Norwegian black metal scene and is considered one of the most influential acts in black metal's history. Vikernes has also released 5 dark ambient and neo-folk albums. Okay. Norway, Virgin. Interesting. Okay. I did not know. Man, some of this looks like something you would see like one of those like Blair Witch Project type movies, or I've never seen it, but that one movie where the girl takes the guy like on a trip or whatever, and he's like stuck there, like summer something. I forget the name of the title of the movie, but it was like summer something. Read about why he went to prison. Okay. Well, who? Because there's different members. There's Samuth, the bass guitar, and Varg Vikernes. You talking about Varg Vikernes? Oh, here we go. Okay. Well, this is Wikipedia, so this is not 1,000% trustworthy. But let's see what it says. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. It says here, in 1994, he was convicted of murder and arson and subsequently served 15 years in prison. Okay. In May 1994, Vikernes was convicted of first-degree murder, church arson, and possession of explosives. Vikernes said the killing was self-defense and unsuccessfully argued for the charge to be reduced to voluntary manslaughter. Wow. Okay. He promoted views which combined Odinism and esoteric Nazism, and openly embraced Nazism during the mid to late 1990s. He has since disavowed the ideology, sure he has, and his associated movements, although critics continue to label his view as far-right. Vikernes calls his beliefs Odinism and defends a pre-industrial European pagan society, opposing Christianity, Islam, Judaism, capitalism, socialism, and materialism. Interesting. My friend, I thank you for that. Should I get in? Let me know, Cons, if you want me to get in depth about like the whole church burning situation. If it's like really a lot more interesting and more insightful, you think, just let me know, and I will not mind looking it up. But I mean, nonetheless, that alone, even if it's just the gist of it, it is interesting for sure. But it gives me like those vibes of like Blair Witch or Summerlin or however that movie's called. But I get what. Okay, I see what you're saying though. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, Constance, he killed Euronymous of Mayhem. If you remember the Halloween white guy Wednesday, I had my face painted as that. Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. So he killed that guy? Or as a fan of other people's honest views. Interesting. Okay, I have one more thing to play. I'll play for like a couple of minutes because I don't plan on being here much longer. I've already overstayed my welcome over an hour. I was only going to be here for about an hour, but I've overstayed my welcome. But I hope it was beneficial to everyone or anyone watching this. So hopefully it blessed you in some way, shape, or form, whether it be it informed you, I don't know, gave you some insight on some stuff, gave you a wake-up call, whatever the case may be. I really do hope it has blessed anyone and everyone in some way, shape, or form, or at some capacity. But yeah, let's play a little bit of this video, and then thank you, Kans. I appreciate that, man. But it's only great when you guys interact the way that you have tonight. It makes the show a lot better that way. Because I don't mind. I can talk all night about different topics. It's not that big of a deal. But it just makes things a lot more easygoing when the live chat is as active as it's been tonight. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what they say here.
I'm going to share with you very, very powerful experiments. They're all peer-reviewed. These experiments are going to tell the story. So I'm going to begin the first experiment, experiment number 1. This was performed in 1992, Russian researchers, Russian physicists, and it was published in the Bulletin of the Lebedev Physics Institute, 1992. It tells us that the stuff we're made of communicates with the stuff that the rest of our world is made of. DNA speaks to the field. So let me describe the experiment like this. Researchers took a vase, a closed vase, closed on both ends, glass tube. They took all of the air out of the tube and created what we call a vacuum, implying that there's nothing in the tube. Well, we know that there may not be any physical matter, but there's still something in the tube, and what is in there are photons of light. So that's no secret. The first part of the experiment was to detect where the photons were in that tube that we knew were in there. And this is what the experiment showed us, that the photons are completely random in that tube. You know, scientists didn't know if they'd all pile up at the bottom or stick to the sides or floating in there. They're completely random, no surprise, totally expected. So this is the baseline. All right, now the next part of the experiment. Next part of the experiment, scientists took human DNA and they placed it into the tube and took all the air out again. And then they measured to see what influence the DNA had upon the photons in the tube. Think about what this means based on what we just described. Our physical world, our bodies, are made of atoms that are made of these photons of light. And conventional wisdom tells us we have little, if any, influence over the world around us or the world within us. So for these scientists to ask the question, what is the effect of the DNA upon the stuff the world is made of? What is the effect of the stuff we're made of upon the stuff the world is made of? And to have this answer, what happened, and you're seeing it on the screen, is that in the presence of the DNA, the photons were no longer random. They followed a pattern from the DNA itself. They became ordered in the presence of the DNA. This is a mind blower. We're not supposed to have, our stuff is not supposed to have any effect on that stuff. Now, I want you to see the way this was written in the professional journals, because the languaging is very telling. First of all, it said that the light was described as behaving, quote, surprisingly and counterintuitively. Intuition says those photons should still be random. So it's counterintuitive that they would become ordered in the presence of the DNA. But then look at this next statement. It says we are forced to accept the possibility. It doesn't say, hey, look at what we found, look what we discovered, look what we observed, look at this curious effect. It says we are forced to accept the possibility that some new field of energy, well, we know it's not new, it's always been there, we're just recognizing it, that some new field of energy is being excited by the DNA. It is called the phantom DNA effect. That is the name of the effect that we're seeing here. It was published in the journal Nanobiology, 1995. All right, so what did we just do? What does this experiment tell us? That human DNA influences the stuff our world is made of. All right, that's a big deal all by itself, but this experiment is not done in a vacuum, although it was about a vacuum. The experiment is within the context of other experiments. So check out the second experiment. Experiment number 2, paper released 1993. The title of the paper sounds very complex. It's actually very simple. Local and non-local effects of coherent heart frequencies on conformational changes of DNA. What this experiment is telling us, scientists know that DNA in the human cell, it doesn't just lie there in one position. Okay, I mean, that's the way it's portrayed and we think of it that way, but the DNA is actually very, very mobile. And it is constantly moving and shifting position in response to a number of factors. That is epigenetics. It can be external environment, internal environment, thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, temperature, nutrition, diet, exercise, all those things. What this experiment is showing is that the heart produces frequencies that change the shape of the DNA, and the ability of the DNA to express fully is determined by its shape. All right. So the heart is producing effects that determine whether or not that DNA can express fully. We are creating the effects in the heart that are creating the frequencies that are having that effect. All right. So here's the experiment. Here it is right here. And by the way, this was published in the Journal of Scientific Exploration, 1994. That's why I wanted to put the all of the references there so you can see them. So this study was done. The Institute of Heart Math participated in this. 1993 is when the experiment began. It's published in 94. And what scientists wanted to know was, what effect does the human heart, the frequencies of the heart, have on DNA? They had pristine DNA they took from umbilical tissue. So it's very pristine. It's not damaged. It's not aged. It's not deteriorated. They isolated that DNA in a tube within a tube. They allowed that tube to be in proximity, close proximity to the heart. It was in the same room. And when individuals trained in heart-based emotion, they were feeling in the presence of heart-brain harmony. All right, they were creating emotions of love, appreciation, gratitude, compassion, positive emotions. And look what happened. In the presence of love, appreciation, gratitude, compassion, the DNA expanded. Now, that's important, because when the DNA relaxes and expands, it is allowed a full expression of all of the genes that are in that segment of the DNA. All right, so what we're saying is this DNA can express completely and healthier, in a more healthy way, in the presence of these emotions. What happens?
All right, I am going to pause this right here. Although, I mean, this is great stuff on its own, but it is getting closer to that time for me to officially start closing things. But just a quick run through of what happened tonight, like a recap, right? I did go over about 5 articles concerning Kanye, Diddy, 2 Chainz, and Rich the Kid, right? But aside from that, I did touch up on how soon, whether it be tomorrow night or within the coming days, the team and myself are going to go over and give our take and commentary and feedback and opinions about that movie, Leave the World Behind. And we're going to give our insight on it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to study it. We're going to pick at it. We're going to decipher it and pick it apart and all that stuff as best as we can. But I also did talk about how we should all be, number one, we should be getting closer to God. Our spirit should be aligned with the Holy Spirit. We should be getting closer to God as much as we can. And I mean, like, prayer, pray more frequently, pray deeper than you regularly would pray. Read your Bibles a lot more than what you can, or a lot more than what you're used to. If you can, every now and then, set out time to fast, and set alone time to like get into that intimate time with the Lord, right? And I know it sounds cliche, like I said earlier, you know, we need to get right with God, but the reality is, with everything that's going to happen and come our way, um, we need to be able to have like discernment. And that, if you've been here for a long time on this channel, you know that that word discernment has been like a keyword foundation in this channel, on this channel, for like the longest time. I've always said, if we had good discernment, like genuine discernment from the Lord, we would be able to do so many things. We would be able to stay away from danger. We would be able to stay away from things that are not good for us at all. We would be able to align ourselves with God's plan in our lives, etc., etc., etc. So, you know, like, that's the best thing, because what's coming next is there is going to be this scenario where the grid gets knocked down and we're left powerless. What seemingly might appear, we're going to be without technology for a little bit. We're going to be without our devices for a little bit, and that can happen anywhere between tonight, while you're sleeping, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. No one knows when it's going to happen, but it is in fact going to happen. And if that happens, or when it happens, there's going to be more deception coming our way. And what better way to look through the deception and see the truth than to have discernment and our spirits being aligned with the Lord and the truth, right? So, you know, obviously, if you're of the faith and or if you believe in God and Christ, even if a little bit, even if just a little bit, I highly recommend you pray, you read your Bible, you get in tune with the Spirit, set out time for fasting. And aside from that, make sure, all right, I'm going to say this again, make sure you're taking all the precautions necessary to be able to handle a quote unquote doomsday scenario type phase, right? If something like 2020 happens again or worse, you know, you're gonna want to be prepared. Extra gas set to the side, water, non-perishable foods, Faraday bags, Faraday bags, Faraday bags, Faraday bags. I'm gonna keep saying it until you say, damn, like, when is he gonna stop bringing it up? No, I'm gonna keep bringing it up, because again, if you're someone who is completely reliant on your mobile devices, like your cell phones, your laptops, your computers, whatever, that is the one sure way, or at the very least, it's a 99.99% chance that it'll work, right? And even if it's 0.01% chance of working, wouldn't you take it, right? So since it is one of those ways of keeping your devices working after an EMP attack, I would hope and pray that you guys would go that extra step and like getting yourselves Faraday cage bags, or a Faraday cage bag similar to it. Exactly. Yeah. Constantine says the best. You don't know how reliant you really are until the power goes out. And that's exactly why I will continue saying it until my last breath. Don't say, man, no one will be able to say, no one who has watched these streams or watched this channel or been a part of this community, no one can say, no one will be able to say, oh, dang, I wish I would have known about those things. I wish I would have, you know, someone would have told me about those. No. I'm telling you right now, Faraday cage bags or anything similar to it, because there's small ones, there's medium sized, there's large ones, there's duffel size bag ones, there's different sizes to these things. So what I'm saying is, you know, you've been warned, you've been told what can help you. And this is mostly to the people who are completely reliant on their devices, and even people who aren't, people who are somewhat reliant like myself. I would still get as many of those things as possible. Also make sure to keep a AF, yep, correct. AM, FM radio with some batteries to power it, flashlights. Exactly. All the essentials. Think of like a survival type scenario. Typical stuff that you would get and need, like he just said, flashlights, batteries, different types of batteries, just in case whatever lamp or flashlight you use uses another type of battery, right? The typical ones are like C's or D's, but I mean, you never know. Ham radio setup was yeah, gas power generators. The list goes on and on. And I'm not trying to scare anyone at all. I'm not trying to scare anyone into buying all these things tonight or tomorrow. That's not my goal. What I'm saying is gradually prepare yourself little by little before you aren't able to prepare yourself anymore. That's all I'm saying. Learn how to purify your own water. Learn how to plant, how to grow whatever, vegetables, fruits, how to prepare the terrain to like grow your own stuff, right? These are all things that we should all know and learn before, time runs out and you're not able to actually find the information on how to do these things at all. So Faraday bags, gas, extra gas, boxes of water or packs of water, however you say it. Oh, that's a great tip. My life says put your phone and car keys in that Faraday bag so you don't get your car stolen. I seen a dude have his Rolls Royce stolen because they hacked his key fob while he was chilling at home. There you go. Generators get sold out real quick even during a heavy storm. Yeah, they do. So, hey, I'm just a friend warning you. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are here, again, like I said earlier, if we could DM each other our addresses and figure out some type of like midpoint where, if need be, like an extreme emergency, right, where ish really hits the fan, and we could use some type of like extra like friend or like family type like comfort or whatever, and we can make it happen. Agree on some midpoint area where we can all like meet up or like network and all that. So that first yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, but again, networking is extremely important now before it's too late. So y'all have my Instagram account. Just message me information that you think might be helpful. Exactly. Thank you, Constance. That's even way better expressed than myself. Yeah, he says have like some midpoint or like know different addresses of different friends and people from the community. So if you have to travel across country, you can have some stop off points, etc. White Dove stopping by to say hello. Thank you so much for being here, White Dove. It means a lot to me. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're blessed, and I hope your family is blessed and your loved ones are blessed. I prayed on you and yours. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, just start getting prepared, guys, because we don't know when it's gonna happen. Is it going to happen? For sure, it's going to happen. When? It could be tonight. It could be while you're sleeping. It could be tomorrow. It could be the next week. It could be the next month. It could be this coming year. But it is going to happen. And once it happens, it's going to take a while for them to like either fix the grid or like make a brand new one or whatever they're gonna do, because I don't know. But it could take a while. So make sure you stock up on your extra gas, your extra water, non-perishable foods, Faraday bags. Make sure you have gas-powered machines and not machines. What do you call it? Like to cook and stuff, like, gas-powered stoves or whatever. Yeah, I was just telling that to my sister the other day. I was like, yo, the grid is so extremely vulnerable because I mean, I wish I could. If is there like actual images of it? Hold on, let's see if I can. I want to see. Okay, check this out. This is from May of this year. I want y'all to look at this. A ramble map just in case. Yeah, yeah. Whatever makes you feel safe, right? Check this out, y'all. So according to the Department of Energy, 2022 saw an increase of, this is an increase of where it was already at. So if it was, if it was at 23%, we're screwed. So this is an increase of 77% in physical attacks on the grid. Numerous credible threats and potential attacks have happened in recent years, including the shooting of substations in Moore County, North Carolina, which shut down power for residents. I mean, extremist attack on U.S. power grids are increasing, and election seasons are usually a popular time for them, experts say. Guess what's coming up, guys? Election season. And again, listen to what it's saying. Extremist attacks on U.S. power grids are increasing, and election seasons, which we're about to come across now this coming months, are usually a popular time for them, experts say. Power grid attacks doubled from the first quarter of 2022 to the same period in 2023. Politico reported many of these attacks can be traced to right-wing extremists. Sure, that's what they want us to believe, but we all know they're doing it themselves. Geez, yo. I mean, let's see this, shall we? This is, of course, before I go. This is by Forbes. 3 alarming threats to the U.S. energy grid's cyber, physical, and existential events. Look at this. The underlying reality is that from an energy frequency perspective, the aging U.S. energy grid infrastructure is extremely vulnerable to cyber attacks, physical incidents, and existential threats. Okay, well, oh Lord, what a coincidence, right? It's all coincidence. All coincidence. These hacks that happened over the past few weeks and months, how like people didn't get like all of their money from their paycheck, like as it is as usual, right? That happened. Other cyber attacks happened recently with like through Instagram. I was an actual like I suffered a cyber attack through Instagram. My account got stolen for like a few seconds or minutes. I was able to recover it, thankfully. And a bunch of other stuff happened like these past few weeks and months. But yeah, these are all things to be on the lookout for. But anyways, again, like I said earlier, I really hope this stream was beneficial to anyone and everyone that watched it all the way through. A lot of great information was discussed throughout the stream. If you just got here, I would highly recommend you would rewind the stream, watch it from beginning to end, because there is a lot of good information throughout the stream, but you have to stick the course. I know a lot of people don't have long attention spans. I get it, I understand. But when it's like life or death situation involved, you should consider watching stuff all the way through. If it has even a little bit of information, that might help you. So anyways, that being said, guys, I appreciate every single one of you who are here. Please consider, you don't have to, but if you can and want to, please consider donating to like myself or the channel. The Cash App is in this comment that I placed on the screen. If you prefer to bless me, my family, or this channel through that, or PayPal, or through the store, you can do any of these things. We appreciate any amount. We don't ask for specifics. We never ask for anything. But again, if you can and want to, the options to bless myself or my family or the channel are there for you guys to do it. All right. That being said, I will let you guys go for tonight. I will be on again tomorrow night. Hopefully not for this long, even though it was fun. It was nice. It was nice seeing more of you here, interacting in the live chat. It's always nice. But I do try to keep these VEVTV short lives an hour long, and if possible, less than that. But shout out to Constantine, the lovely, beautiful Emily Rose, Willie and Patty, My Life, White Dove. I know Uncanny Valley was here for a bit, unless he's still here. Who else was out here? There was a lot of people that were here, but just didn't really say anything while they were here. They were just watching, which is fine. Like, you know, I always encourage for everyone to like participate and say something, even if it's just hi. Oh, Terrence was here. Terrence Castaway was here. TC. Who else? I'm trying to see everyone. I can't see everyone, but those are the ones I can see. So to all of you, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And I do hope you guys are here next time. Why did I get hats? Yeah. That's funny. No, my passwords are always super random, always, every time. So I thankfully, thanks to that, I've, you know, secured myself for a longer period of time. But anyways, love you guys. I really do mean that. Stay blessed and safe out there. William, I'll be waiting for those boxes of comics to do an unboxing stream. So whenever that happens, just let me know. I'm excited about it. I'm anticipating it. If you haven't seen the movie Leave the World Behind, I highly recommend you watch it. But watch it the first time around, like, you know, to entertain yourself, sure. But then watch it again a second time to really dissect it for what it really is. All right. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. Love you guys. And as always, this was JDQ with VISIONEYEVIEWTV. And until next time, God bless and peace out.